Hey fairies, welcome back to my channel. I do hope y'all keeping it cool, kind, and classy tonight. And I wanted to talk about the graduation that you are finally being able to attend regarding your spirituality and regarding your ability to pursue yourself. Because I feel that many times spirituality is in close proximity to self-care and showing up for yourself in a time of need, for others. So it's extremely difficult to reach the point of enlightenment when you have nobody to turn to, when you are your only self to turn to. And within this, it is extremely difficult to see yourself because you have no external reflections. When you are facing life as a hermit, when you are facing life as the Hierophant, you have to stumble upon a perspective of life within itself that, as I was speaking on in my last video, is extremely black and white and typically very bleak. So having to face this perspective alone, having to be self alone, having to find self alone and pursue that self can be extremely difficult and tedious and time consuming. If nothing else, time consuming. Because you're trying to reach this point of feeling better, of feeling worthy, of feeling like somebody who has the right to take up space that they have already consumed. And when you come into contact with other people who reflect a version of yourself that is no longer alive, or a version of yourself that could have been, it's very difficult to come back to yourself. And I find this in many chapters of coming back to yourself, because I consistently see that as the hermit, you have to make the decision, you have to make the conscious decision to choose yourself and to love yourself and to be yourself and to face yourself, and within that face your fears. So when I say fears, I'm simply referring to the fact that you have to let people go. In spirituality, when people talk on letting go, this can be a range of many things. This can be a variety of meanings. This can be many different opportunities, honestly, because you can approach letting go from many different standpoints. And when I think of different, I think of the way that people approach themselves. So when I think of humanity, I think of variations that have opportunities to approach themselves with different ideas of meaning. And when you do this, you can do it in a way that you use energy for things that are not of the highest ability, or you can use things that contribute to the functionality of the wheel of fortune. And um, I think that this is a time of acceptance of this. Because when it comes down to the truth and the nitty gritty, it is simply regarding the fact that there are two kinds of people in the world. You either accept yourself or you do not. You either approach yourself with genuinity or you're working on it, or you're not doing it at all. And I have spoken on this as well, because when you're not doing it, or you're thinking about it, or you're getting close, you're still not there. Many people get stuck there. So to be here now and to be watching this video is such an opportunity. That's such a fluent word I'm getting today. Opportunity. And I think that you have successfully encountered and instructed and approached your ability to be yourself. Because I think at this point in life, where you are right now, there's nothing more you can do. And you're continuously going and going and going, running from yourself, trying to figure out what the right move is. I think the only thing to understand at this point is that you have done everything that you can. And the only thing that can happen now is your destiny. Excuse me, confirmation? Okay, anyway. It's there's a really serious energy, but I can only uphold that for so many minutes at a time. It was 7. So I just wanted to say that when you look at yourself, understand that you are the product of your mentality. And in doing everything for yourself that relates to your mentality and relates to yourself and relates to the people around you, I don't know why I'm hearing this. It's simply it's simply a reflection of exactly how you feel inside. That's why. Because when you build relationships or you have to break relationships, it is that direct correlation to who you are within yourself. So when you feel good about yourself, you're not going to stand for people who don't make you feel good about yourself as well. Because at the end of the day, we do choose how we feel, but when people make us feel bad about ourselves, that is not us. That is not collective. That is not highest power. To feel like a product of somebody else's design. And I just wanted to cover all of this before I jumped in at Toronto, because I feel like it's really important to understand how far that you have come. You are in the stages of the catacombs that have been constructed within the mountains of the highest timeline that you are accepting within yourself. Because it's really important to accept what is within you before you can encounter it in the physical realm. um, so you're walking through these catacombs and you're seeing versions of yourself that are falling. You're walking through these catacombs and you're seeing versions of yourself that are able to rise with you. You are not in the limbo anymore. You are in the stages of breathing. You are in the stages of the equivalent to what is above the clouds. And this might not make sense to you. And if it does, then even better. But if it doesn't, what I mean by that is that you are in the stages of understanding that you didn't have anything to worry about. The only thing that you had to fear was fear, and the only consistent issue that you were running into was the fact that you were feeling others' projections this whole time. Because you genuinely never had the full space to express yourself. You never had the full space to understand exactly who you are. Not were. Who you are. And when you don't have the full space to express yourself and be your greatest self and be of the product that is in correlation to your highest capability regarding your mentality, then it makes room for dysfunction. And that's why you see so many people falling into that, because they got to a point in their mentality where they were ciphering beautiful energy that is surrounding them. This is gonna be deep, y'all better buckle up. This for the realist. So they were ciphering the energy of those around them that were vessels who are able to carry this beautiful energy, but didn't have the confidence to put this beautiful energy into motion. So, what that means, and what I'm trying to say, is that many people have been living off of your energy for many years. And when you got to the point that you didn't have a necessarily abundant bank account, and you didn't have successful relationships, and you didn't have the mentality that you knew belonged to you, and the overall surrounding energy that you knew was in relation to that greatest mentality that you know is yours, you got to a point where you are now understanding that same energy is waiting for you. Because many of us as collective have been spending so much time trying to call it back and to force it back and to beg for it back. But what we didn't realize is that all we have to do is embody it regardless of our surroundings. And I'm very heavy on the surroundings because I do feel that the current atmosphere for collective is very unrealistic. It's very unrealistic and inhumane circumstances. And I know this because I am this. I am collective. Um, and when I say collective, I just mean the people that are approaching and appreciating their wealthiest self. You don't have to be wealthy physically in order to be rich within yourself. And when you approach yourself with grace and you approach yourself with authenticity, you realize that you have been there this whole time. And the words I'm saying are not exactly what I want them to come out as. And I think that this is really important to mention because the dimension that we are in is no longer the limbo, but it is an illusion. We are living in an illusion that was created by negativity that wants to cipher our positivity. And it is that simple. Unfortunately, because it shouldn't be this way, but it continues to be. And all day I have felt extremely distracted, and I, got everything I needed to get done out of the way, but there's just been this feeling of not being in my environment and not experiencing my element, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because I just want to be myself. And when you're not able to be everything that you know that you can, and you don't have the space to do it, it makes your goals obsolete, and it makes your motivation lazy. It just makes you feel like this version of yourself that is out of control, and you know you're doing everything that you can to stabilize. But I think that we should take it over to the cards, because I feel that I've said just about everything that I need to, and I think that there's different things I want to say, but I don't know how to get them out. So clearly, right on the bottom, we have been continuously seeing a reversed sun. And I do believe that that correlates directly to being in the dark, because many of us feel that we are in the dark. And I think that we know. Oh, that was interesting. I think that we know. I know that we are aware of the fact that there is much more for us. And the inner child that we are possessing, the inner child that we are holding is not being sufficiently fed with the nutrients it needs in order to face this negativity. Ooh, so when you are carrying so much, and you're continuously dropping little things, and you're continuously falling out of alignment, and you are continuously blaming yourself and falling right back into this negativity, you're not it. You are not the negativity, but you are continuously falling into a pool of it. And that is the point. That is the point of the game. You are no longer looking at yourself as the way that people want you to, because I'm going to tell y'all something right now. The way that people have projected negativity onto you is not the truth of how they see you. When people approach you and they treat you wrongly, when people approach you and they treat you like less than, it's because they see every splinter of affection and genuinity and authenticity that you carry. But they don't want you to see that. They don't want you to see that because they don't feel that way about themselves. It is that easy. It is that easy. And before you understand what is going on in the spiritual warfare and the energy attacks and the evil eye, you are so hard on yourself to understand a shred of what is wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. The only problem is that you're slowing down to meet other people, and you're slowing down to meet them exactly where they want to stay. Because they're aware of the fact that if you accept everything that you are capable of and you move on and you let the cards fall where they may, then you will receive everything that is meant for you. Okay. Yeah. That was great. Yeah. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about what just happened. So I think that it's really important to state the fact that you are exactly where you need to be in this very moment, because maybe you're not comfortable, maybe you're not happy when it comes to your physical environment. But to be yourself in this negativity that is of, how do I say, divine interference, that is of divine intervention, if you will, because many people want you to think that it is illegal to be so happy. You feel that somebody is going to show up at your door any minute and take you to this place that you don't understand because they want to study you, and because they want to tear you apart, and because they want to break you. You know this. You know this. And it's really scary. It's scary to be happy because you know that so many people are not. You know that so many people are in a mindset that is of divine interference because they are the exact version of yourself. Whoa. They are the exact version of yourself that is everything that you have fought against, everything that you have ran away from, everything that you work tirelessly not to become, let me tell you something. You're not going to be this. You're so scared to move on. You're so scared to become your highest self. You're so scared to pursue yourself because you think as soon as you just start relaxing and spread your wings, then you're going to revert into this version of yourself that is of divine interference. So you essentially are just at a point in your life that is above the clouds, that is above the mess, that is above the world, but you feel like you're just sitting in a glass case in the sky that You can look out and see how beautiful the world is, and the sun above the clouds, and the way that it's just sparkling off of the clouds and radiating through the sky and hitting all the right, light within. It's just okay. Anyway, I was about to build a poet. I was about to build a poetic justice. I don't know. Poetry. Starstruck. That's what that was. That's what I just did. um, so basically, yes, you are at this moment of being starstruck, but you don't have the confidence to accept that you are stardust, to accept that you are of greater beauty. You think that where you are is okay because you see yourself and you're happy with who you are. And you're okay with the world not seeing you as well. But what you don't understand is that there's so much more. Or you do understand that there's more, but the fact that you've even come this far, you have so much gratitude for it. And you're just soaking in your little bathtub of gratitude because you think that as soon as you start excelling that much more, you're going to be seen for everything that you are, because you know that when you get seen for who you are, people are going to be fake. People are going to try to hurt you. People are going to try to approach you in order to get something from you that you just don't want any part of. You're okay with sitting where you are right now because you feel this greater acceptance of yourself that is beyond this world. And you know that when you excel fully, you don't trust the versions of yourself that have fallen into blasphemy of themselves, because you know that they will try to interfere with this beautiful frequency that you have established for yourself. And that is the exact problem. I believe you have a fear of being seen because you know exactly what people's intentions can be, because you see the truth and you see people and you see yourself, and you know that many people do not reach this capacity. So you're getting to a point in your life where you're accepting that you have to walk away from this truth. It's kind of like when you're doing your taxes. I hate taxes, man. And you accept that you have to walk away from approaching this head on. And you can come back to it later. You just gotta get a cup of coffee and a treat, okay? And then you can come back later. But for right now, you just have to turn away and you gotta go do your own thing. Because you understand that if you keep approaching this thing and keep approaching this thing, then it's only going to build this wall of tension that is going to block you from all of your blessings. So you've hit this point that you understand there's only one way to go from here that is in correlation to your highest potential. So just remember yourself. Just remember your future self. Just remember your highest self when you're living every second of your day. Because at the end of it, are you going to sit down and say, my highest self loves me right now? And you can slowly marinate with that highest self until you truly embody it. And then within that, you can truly embody the universe.